In high school, I went from being a JV QB to being the league offensive MVP in 1 year. Let's start at my sophomore year. I had a long ways to go. I started JV and I feel like the coaches didn't really see much potential in me, but I did finish the year very strong. I threw 14 touchdown passes in the last 3 games of the year. In my head, I'm feeling pretty good. I really wanted to be the varsity quarterback the next year. I needed to get faster and I needed to clean up my throwing mechanics a lot. I was also playing basketball. I played varsity basketball for all 3 years, although all I really did was kind of just sit in the corner and hit threes. Going into my junior year, I was a backup. There was a senior ahead of me, so I was second on the depth chart. If you've never been a backup, all you can do is sit and watch and be a good teammate and support. But on the inside, I knew that I wanted that spot and I wanted to be playing. After all, how could you get recruited if you don't even have film as a junior? Most quarterbacks are already getting offers before their senior year even starts. So if I have no film as a junior, how would I ever make it and play in college? So I sat on the bench for about half that season, and I just still remember the pain that I felt, like I was letting everyone that believed in me down. Until one Thursday, the coaches called me into their office the day before the varsity game. They told me that I'd be playing JV the following Monday. This hurt me a lot because I had huge dreams. I wanted to play D1, I wanted to go pro. I didn't even have film and I was getting demoted to JV. I had the worst pit in my stomach. The next day, that Friday night, we were playing against the best team in the league at the time. And we were getting smacked. I think we were down by 4 touchdowns at halftime and the coaches decided to let me start the second half. I didn't play good. It was still a pretty average game, but I did show some glimpses that I could lead this team and the coaches decided to let me start for the rest of the season. I played pretty good. I wasn't the best player out there. I wasn't like wowing people or anything, but I was making plays. And to no surprise, I had no league honors, no first team all league, second team all league, nothing like that. I only played half the season and I was pretty average at that. But I did get a taste of varsity and that gave me all I needed going into my senior year. I wasn't on anybody's radar. Nobody had expectations for me, but that off season is when everything changed. First off, the head coach retired, so we had a brand new coaching staff and a brand new offensive system, which was a no huddle spread triple option, and we ran the ball a lot. I only went to one camp that off season, and it was the Oregon State camp, and I didn't really do anything to separate myself. I was just another guy at the camp. I even talked to the quarterback coach after the camp, and he told me I just didn't have it, which kind of sucks to hear, but it's also brutally honest. I needed to hear that. Because this was still early in the summer in June, so I had the whole summer to work after that. And that's when I really locked in, set my intentions on what I wanted to do, how I was going to prove everybody wrong, and I stuck to it. I was extremely consistent with my preparation. I got faster, stronger, smarter, more skilled, tightened up my mechanics. And when I showed up for fall camp, I was a different player. Our first game was September 4th, and I'll never forget this because it was at home. Stadium was full and we were playing against a really good team that was expected to beat us. I was very hesitant in the first half and I was kind of playing scared. I can be honest about that now. We were down by 3 touchdowns at halftime. My coach pulled me aside and told me that I need to take control of this game or else we were just going to lose and be a mid team, and he was right. So the second half started and I kind of just took that leap and started running the ball, started making plays, and we ended up winning that game 34-24. That was pretty cool because after that game, I was awarded State Player of the Week in Washington. And the news came and interviewed me and everything. And for winning State Player of the Week, they gave me $500 to Jack in the Box. What do you think I did as a high school kid with $500 to Jack in the Box? Dropped like 180. I'd pull up at the soccer games like on a Tuesday night, where all my teammates were there watching, just tossing people breakfast jacks, tossing people tacos, got shakes, got the little mini churros that they used to have, and we were just balling out on Jack in the Box. That was a lot of fun. But moving on, that season was going extremely well. We were tearing teams apart until week 5 when I sprained my ankle in overtime. For 2 straight weeks after that, I didn't practice at all. I just stood and watched. Literally did not practice, but I played in both games. It was tough for me to run and I wanted to rest up, so I would get my ankle taped and spatted super heavily, take a couple Advils and just go out there, sit in the pocket and throw passes. And this was when I kind of started to really emerge as a passer as well, because before that, I was running the ball a lot. We went on to be 8-3 and we lost in the first round of the playoffs. After the season, I was awarded first team all-league and the league offensive MVP. It's kind of crazy considering that just a year before, I was getting demoted to JV. It was tough for me because after the season, after winning first team all league, after winning the league offensive MVP, putting up a crazy season as a rushing quarterback, still had no offers. So I decided to start marketing myself, where I was going on websites and filling out recruit questionnaires for every single college I could think of. I probably did like 100 of these. I would also try to get as many coaches' emails as I could, and I would sit there and type up these emails and send my tape out. I think I had 83 emails in a list, and I would send my tape to these guys frequently, but nobody ever hit me back, and if they ever did, it was just to tell me that they weren't interested. This sucked because I felt like I worked harder for this than I did anything else in my life ever, and still had nothing to really show for it. I remember sitting in class while my teammates got pulled out of class to go talk to college coaches that were visiting, but not me. I remember hanging out with my friends and they were getting phone calls to get offers, and I was just waiting for one of those calls to have one coach, one team interested, one team to give me a shot to play at the next level, but it never came. The only school that showed me interest out of high school was a small school in Montana, and they brought me out there for a visit, and I remember being super excited, like they're gonna offer me, I'm gonna go check out the school, and someone's gonna give me a chance. However, on the last day of the visit, I met with the coach, and they explained to me that all they could give me was an academic scholarship that didn't cover anything. It was like $2,000 a year. You know, once again, their coach didn't see it in me. That ride home from Montana to Washington was one of the most eye-opening rides in my life because I was so sad and angry and just feeling like I put in all this work for nothing. Everybody had offers already. Everyone had places that they were going to school. But here I was, who was working as hard as I could every single day with nothing to show for it. So in that car ride, I started considering options. I filled out like 6 recruit questionnaires for junior colleges in California. This is kind of like a shot in the dark. You don't really know what to expect. JUCOs can't give you a scholarship, but it is a shot to play at the next level. It is a shot to get film and get a chance to get recruited. And a few days later, I received a call from the head coach at the College of Siskiyous telling me that he loves my film and he thinks that I would be a great addition to his program. I was ecstatic about this because this is the first time a coach ever kind of told me that he saw something in me, that he saw potential in me. I scheduled a visit, went down to the school, and signed on the spot. Now my JUCO story is a long story, and that's meant for a completely different video. I'm gonna save that for later. But the overarching theme I want you guys to take from this is that you only ever fail if you quit. I could have quit football right there, not gone to college, and I could have just started working and getting a job. Instead, I made a decision that I was going to sign JUCO, I was going to bet on myself, and I was going to find a way to go even harder. But through all that, I recognized that there's several mistakes that I made. There's a reason why I didn't get recruited. For one, nobody knew who I was. I did no networking. I didn't go to any camps. I went to one camp. I didn't have any coaches or trainers that could vouch for me. My head coach couldn't really sell me to any college coaches. They weren't interested, and that left me stuck with no options. For two, I never had a throwing coach. I never had anyone to teach me mechanics. So I was kind of just back there winging it, making plays strictly off my athletic ability. You know, I had very poor mechanics. And really the third reason is I decided that I wanted it way too late. If I made that decision like I did the off season before my senior year, like my freshman year, I could have given myself a real shot to be a standout prospect and probably get recruited. But I wasn't really serious about what I wanted back then, and it took me a long time to figure that out. So if you're in a similar position where you're either not starting or you are starting but you aren't getting any looks, or you're just not where you want to be as a player, you got to make a decision now about what you want. You need to set your intentions on what your goals are. If you don't do that, it's just going to pass you by. I can look at all of my experiences like, man, I really messed up. I really fumbled my opportunity. But it's only a loss if you don't learn something from it. And I learned valuable lessons from every single loss I ever took in my life, which includes me never getting recruited, never going D1, never getting a shot. I learned tremendously from all of these experiences, and I'm forever grateful for the path that it's put me on. Really, I started this channel because I wanted to become the quarterback coach that I never had back when I was trying to come up. If you got something from this story, please subscribe to my channel. If you're already subscribed, I appreciate you for tapping in. The more you guys continue to support me, the more that I'm going to keep dropping quarterback content every single week through the summer to help you guys become the best players you can be. But that's all I got in this video. Here's a little cut up of some of my highlights from high school. See you guys in the next video.